What is going on, you guys? Bayou exclusive Backroads here again for another car review. This is, of course, the 2007 Mustang GT. I apologize for all the wind noise. We got a storm coming over here. It's getting kind of windy. But this car looks really good. This one has the rear wing removed on it. You got it like that from the factory, but this is a good looking car. It's older, so it's no LEDs or anything on it, nothing like that. But you know, it looks really good. It's good, typical muscle car look with the fog lights in the front and the pony badge on the front, the torque thrust style wheels. And I love this one. Has the fastback look. It looks really good. Just a really good looking car. Got the fender flares, just the side skirts on it and everything. This car looks really good from every angle. It just has a good muscle car look. I mean, of course there's other things like back end is a little understated, nothing really crazy going on. But he does have dual Flowmaster exhausts. The faux gas cap in the back, I think that's a cool little touch. Just, this car is cool from every angle. And now for the interior of the Mustang. You know, it's mid 2000s interior. You know, everything's kind of harder plastic and stuff like that. You know, dashboard's harder plastic. You just got cheap hard plastics everywhere, especially right there. The handle on the side is somewhat cushioned, so that's nice. You do have some cloth on the actual by the door. As for the seats, this one does have the leather seats, and they're pretty comfy. They're nice to sit in, and they have a good amount of cushion to them. Leg bolstering is okay. Side bolstering is okay, but it's not like you slip and slide around in it. It still holds you in very nicely. As for the gauges, just these retro gauges are so cool. They're really nice to look at. Kind of not even like have that old yellow kind of light to them. Not even a white. Gives it a really cool retro look, especially how they're set back into the dashboard. Just looks really good. The chrome accents around everything. While we're in this area, the steering wheel, it's an okay steering wheel. It doesn't have any kind of 9/3 grips. It's a complete circle wheel, but it's pretty nice. It is cushioned, so. But I mean, basic cruise control buttons, and that's it. I apologize for any wind from the AC. It's pretty warm outside today here in Louisiana. So now moving on to the center, of course you have your two AC vents. You have kind of fake buttons, nothing really right there. Traction control button. This has the Shaker 500 system in it, and it's a pretty good radio, even for this car having, 134,000 miles. So it has its typical wear and tear. It was daily driven, not kept in a garage, but kept under a carport all the time. But, typical stereo, AC works okay. It doesn't really blow super hard or super cold, but it gets the job done, Just your typical buttons, but the buttons are pretty loose, pretty cheap feeling. Not super great or anything like that, but okay. But my favorite part, well, one of my favorite parts about this car is the shifter. It just has that cool, just that style of shifter is so cool and so satisfying to use. Just nice. And while we're going through here, you have, you got your two cup holders, and then you got your armrest. Nothing super crazy. The armrest is slightly padded. It's pretty comfortable. You rest your arm on it all day long and it not hurt at all. And as for storage space, you have an itty bitty little mat pocket right there. one on the other door. You have your 2 cup holders, and you have in here, which not a bunch of space in there either. That's where your change holder and everything is. Besides that, I mean, you have the back seat, which is very small. Very small. Like, I wouldn't want to sit an adult back there for any extended period of time. Maybe going right down the road or right down to a store somewhere, but besides that, it's a pretty tight squeeze. But like I said, this is the GT. It has a V8. The guy does have Flowmaster exhaust on it, so let's roll down the windows here and let's listen to her start up. Yeah, she sounds pretty good. So let me get myself situated in here and we'll take her for a drive. Alright guys, setting off in the 2007 Mustang GT. Right off the back, I can tell you it's, a stiffer ride than normal, but it's a sports car. That's what you expect from it. You expect a stiffer ride and just everything that comes with it being a sportier muscle car. A few things also right off the back: visibility. Out of the rear window, really very good visibility. You can see very well out of there, along with the windows. The pillars are very far back, so you have plenty of side visibility. Mirrors are a little bit smaller, but you can still see plenty with them. And forward-facing visibility, you can see the hood for a good bit. I found you have to be careful when you park it, because the nose of the car tends to be a little bit farther out than you would expect. So you just have to stop a little bit sooner. Just something you would have to get used to after driving it for a while. Well, those typical things. And with the extra noise, I have the windows down right now. That's why there's more wind and more exhaust noise that you hear right now. Coming up to these first couple of curves, just taking it slow because it recently rained and it's wet out, and yeah, you feel the body roll. But I mean, it's a 2007 Mustang. Anything from that year and the mid 2000s, not super great handling or anything, but it's better. It's just as good as my wife's new car. She has a 2017 Malibu. It's just as good as that. So I mean, that's saying a lot. A few other things. The throttle on the car is a little bit odd. There's almost like a latency, a gap between when you press the throttle and when you actually start to get some acceleration out of the motor. Like probably maybe like almost a quarter of the throttle, there's nothing, and then it kind of jumps up on you. So you have to be a little bit careful with that. Just kind of ease into the throttle, be very delicate with it. Along with pedals, the brake. This car is automatic, so there's no clutch. I mean, you put it in drive and you go. But the brake pedal, it's also a little funny. Now, it could be because this car has 137,000 miles on it, but everything's just kind of broken in. But the brake pedal, I mean, it bites at the top of the pedal, but like you don't really get any real meat from it until you're almost halfway into the pedal. So like you got to press it a good bit to really get some good stopping power. But when it gets there, it brakes hard. It does a good job of it. As we're cruising here a little bit more, I'm used to driving a truck every day, so to me, the space in here is very small. Everything's right here, kind of, your arms are not bumping into everything, but like everything's just right there around you. So it's weird. It's different for me, but I enjoy it a lot more. Again, that whole sporty feel, it feels nice. Even though it's different, it still One thing I have noticed, especially with driving it in the rain, you get a lot of tire noise. Man, that sounds good. Yeah, sorry, you get a lot of tire noise, especially from the water hitting up inside the fenders. You really, it's pretty loud, honestly. It's not overbearing loud, but you hear it, especially if it's a lot of water on the road. You definitely hear it. But just cruising like this, not really much tire noise. Speaking of the tires, this one has very cheap tires on it. It has Goodyear Assurance tires, so nothing crazy. I'm not even sure how wide they are, to be perfectly honest. I think they're just 235s or 255s, if I'm correct. If not, correct me in the comments. We're going to come up to a little bit more turns. Of course, I'm taking it slow because it just rained, so I'm not trying to do anything crazy. And these are some tight blind corners, and it handles real well. Steering is very responsive. Really good tight steering. Feels really good. Sliding a little bit there, but it feels good. A little bit of oversteer. Blind corner, of course. And that exhaust sounds good. Gotta slow down a little bit for some traffic in front of me here. But just that pedal, you just gotta be careful with that pedal. It's really odd. It jumps up on you real quick. So it's gonna takes a while to get used to it. Coming up here, we're gonna turn onto the straight road, kind of let this truck get a little bit away from us, and we're gonna see about the acceleration. I'm excited for this. Driving a truck every day with a little V6. I'm excited for this. Of course, still taking it a little bit slower because of wet roads, but here you go. Spinning the tires the whole way. You can hear the traction control kicking on and off, making it stop accelerating. It got pretty squirrely back there. I'm gonna try again here in a minute. Well, definitely gonna have to ease into it a little bit more. Man, it breaks grip real easy. I got a ton of torque down low. I was maybe a little over half throttle. Crazy. All right, now coming up over here, we're gonna take a turn onto another little back road over here. I'm gonna turn my GoPro on that I have now. I'm gonna take a few of these turns, see about a little bit more handling. You definitely feel the body roll, and that pedal just gets you. It jumps up on you real quick. That was probably about 3/4 throttle. I don't even know if I can go full throttle because just the roads are so wet. It just breaks loose every single time. All right, so my GoPro actually wasn't on back there. I just bought it today, and so I'm kind of working through it, working with some technical issues with it. It's not a GoPro brand; it's a little cheaper one, but I had to pull off to the side and set it like I have a remote for it, but the remote wasn't working. So it's going now, and we'll be able to hear some of those glorious exhaust notes. I'm gonna try and see about this acceleration one more time, see if we can get it up and going, especially for that GoPro. And man, this car is just so much fun. It is just a blast. big old smile on my face. Woo! Oh man, driving a truck every day compared to this, I would be in so much trouble all of the time. Because this is just too much fun, you guys. I know it's not the fastest thing in the world, but Lord, it is plenty for anybody. Tires breaking loose again. Yeah, I kind of rolled into that time. Yeah, that was fun. And man, when the traction control kicks in, it just cuts everything. It stops power completely. It does not give you any leeway or anything. It just completely cuts it off. But I mean, that's kind of what you want. You don't want it to give you a little bit. You want it to just keep you from putting this thing in the ditch, which that's definitely where I would be right now without this traction control. I would be in the ditch. I'm gonna roll into this one more time. A little squirrely under braking. I think it's just because of wet roads and whatnot. But oh man, just a ton and a half of fun. And it has not a whole bunch of crackles and pops and stuff like that, but it has some. But you guys, I mean, it's a wet road right now, so there's not much I can do as far as acceleration and, you know, taking corners and whatnot. I might try and find a couple more places and see if they're maybe a little bit drier, and I'll come back to you then. Alright, you guys, so I found a drier road. It's not completely dry or anything, but it's a lot drier than before. Put some more curves on it. We're gonna see about this handling some more. Still, I'm gonna be taking it easy. Just once again, the wet roads. And while I was trying to find this place, I rolled the windows up. And once you want to roll the windows up, it's actually really quiet in here. Really refined. Like it's nice. It's a nice, quiet ride. Now, of course, the exhaust has a deep drone to it, but if you don't have the exhaust, then I'm sure it's extremely quiet. Now, of course, traffic's going to make this difficult for us to see about some curves, but it's okay. You know, like, it's not any kind of crazy drastic corners. Okay, some of them are, but it's a small road and fairly busy, and it's still pretty wet. I'm gonna try and back off this car a little bit, see if I can, you know, have a little bit more room to have fun. With it handling so well in the wet, I imagine if it was dry, it'd be extremely unsafe to try and find the limits of this car. Even with it having super cheap tires on it right now. Like that, oh, it just grips for days. Just days and days on it. Like, I'm sure it doesn't grip anything as well as something newer. But as far as sports cars goes, this is one of the only things I've really driven. So I don't have much experience driving anything fast or anything that handles extremely well. I've always driven mainly trucks, honestly. I've only ever had trucks as my vehicles. Now, I hope for that to change fairly soon, but, you know, however it is. would love to own a sports car one day. That's really what I'm shooting for. I'm gonna turn around up here, try and come back, see if we can, you know, maybe get a few more corners in and a little bit less traffic maybe, but it's a pretty busy road I'm finding. So let me just come back in a minute and we'll try again. See if we can see about this acceleration one more time when I pull out here. Oh yeah, we got to 70 there. Oh yeah. Woo. All right. Sorry, I'm not used to that at all. That was surprising. I did not expect to get up to 70 there, but I was finally able to get some grip down. The road's actually fairly dry now. So I was able to put my foot into it all the way, and that was, man, this thing is fun. Oh, traffic ruins all the fun. Oh man, yeah. Yeah, this is definitely making my day being able to do this. As we're up to more traffic, you know, these cars are going even slower. So I'm definitely not going to be able to get any, you know, kind of fun video out of this road. So I apologize for that, you guys. At this point, I'm running low on memory on my phone, so I think this is gonna be it for the video, you guys. But tell me what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. You know, check out my other videos too. I got a video of my wife's car, the 2017 Chevrolet Malibu, and I also have a video up of my personal vehicle. It's a 2004 Silverado. So if y'all want to check those out, I'd be very thankful to y'all. But until I find another time to video amongst work and classes and such, I will see you guys next time. Thank you.